Get ready, because those old wheat pennies you've overlooked might be hiding incredible treasure today. We're uncovering the most rare and valuable wheat pennies that can turn a simple, worn coin into hundreds, thousands, or even million-dollar fortunes. These seemingly ordinary pennies may look old and dirty, but some contain rare mint errors and unique varieties that collectors pay jaw-dropping prices for. The 1955 wheat penny wasn't just minted during an ordinary year. It was a time of high production at the U.S. Mint, where errors like double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and dramatic die breaks became the ultimate collector's holy grail. Some errors are so rare and striking that collectors fight tooth and nail to get them. Imagine this. You're sifting through an old coin jar, a drawer your grandparents left behind, or a dusty box in the attic. Among the coins, you spot a worn, brown, unassuming 1955 wheat penny. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. Common, cheap, unremarkable. History of the 1955 wheat penny. The 1955 wheat penny is historically significant because it was minted just a few years after the end of World War II during a period of economic growth and industrial expansion. The U.S. Mint had perfected large-scale production, but high-volume minting combined with minor human and machine errors produced coins that today are some of the most sought after by collectors. Although the majority of 1955 pennies are common, a small fraction contain rare errors that can fetch incredible sums at auction. Most valuable 1955 wheat penny errors. 1955 double die obverse the legendary error, bold, museum quality doubling. $15,000 to $25,000 plus. These coins are so iconic that even a single minor DDO in circulated condition can sell for a few $1,000s. Double die reverse, strong doubling. $5,000 to $15,000 plus. Collectors love the visual impact of reverse doubling, especially dramatic ones. Off-center strikes. 60-75% off-center. $1,500 to $5,000. A 90% off-center 1955 penny can sell instantly to eager collectors. Broad strikes. Occurs when the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, giving it a wider appearance. Extreme. $1,500 to $4,000 plus. Cuds and die breaks. Cuds are portions of metal that remain from a die breaking. They can create dramatic raised blobs on the coin. Large, dramatic cud. $1,000 to $3,000 plus. Double strikes and triple strikes. These errors happen when a coin is struck more than once by the press. The result? A ghosted secondary image. Bold double/triple strike. $5,000 to $12,000 plus. Wrong planchet errors. Dramatic metal anomaly. $25,000 to $5,000. Repunched mint marks. Dramatic repunch. $1,000 to $2,500 plus. Why market value today? While a standard 1955 penny in circulated condition is worth 5 to 15 cents, error coins fetch. Minor errors. $100, $500, mid-tier errors. $1, $000, $10, $000, mega rare errors. $50, $000, $500, $000 plus. Extremely rare combined errors, like double die plus off-center plus unusual planchet potentially $1, $000, $000 plus. Because 1945 wasn't just another year. It was the final year of World War II, a time when the mint was operating at maximum pressure, using leftover metals, experimenting with foreign planchets, pushing machines to the limit, and sometimes producing coins that should have never existed. But what if I told you that this simple old penny could actually be hiding a secret worth hundreds, thousands, and in ultra-rare error cases, even six-figure values that coin collectors will fight over? What if your 1945 penny wasn't just a penny, but a wartime minting mistake, a wrong planchet miracle, or a double die rarity created during one of the most chaotic phases of U.S. mint history? History of the 1945 wheat penny. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a crucial moment in American history, the final year of World War II. Copper, zinc, and other metals were rationed due to wartime production demands. The U.S. Mint had spent the previous years struggling to adapt its metal supplies, leading to unusual decisions like the 1943 steel penny experiment. This chaotic environment gave birth to some of the rarest and most valuable error pennies collectors chase today. Even though more than 1 billion 1945 pennies were made, only a small fraction contained the rare errors worth serious money. Most valuable 1945 penny errors. 1945 penny struck on a silver dime planchet. High grade. $50,000 to $125,000 plus. If someone finds this in circulation today, that's life-changing. 1945 penny struck on a steel planchet. Similar to the famous 1944 and 1943 mix-ups, but much rarer. Mid-grade. $50,000 to $90,000. 1945 off-metal errors. Rare metals or rare foreign blanks. $5,000 to £20,000 plus. Some can rival the prices of 1944 and 1943 steel pennies. Double die obverse, strong DDO, $1,500 to $5,000 plus. Strong examples are highly collectible. Double die reverse, strong, $1,000 to $3,500 plus. Off-center strikes, 60–90% off-center with full date. $500 to $2,500 plus. Full date 90% off-centers can fetch premium auction prices. Broad strikes occurs when the collar fails to keep the metal in place. Dramatic broad strike. $150 to $350 die breaks. Die cracks and cuts. 1945 was notorious for worn dies due to non-stop wartime production. Full cud covering chunks of the rim. $500 to £1,200. Double strikes and triple strikes. Major eye-catching errors. Medium, $600 to $1,000. Why 1945 pennies have so many rare errors? Wartime stress on mint machinery. Machines ran constantly, dies wore out faster. Minting coins for foreign countries. Foreign planchets often mixed into U.S. penny presses. Use of leftover metals. Leftover steel planchets were still in bins from 1943. Human error increased. Training new workers during wartime created more mistakes. This combination produced some of the most exciting error coins of the 20th century. How to identify a rare 1945 penny at home? Test with a magnet. If your 1945 penny sticks to a magnet, jackpot level rarity. Weigh the penny. Standard copper. 3.11 G silver dime planchet. 2.5 G steel blank. 2.7 G check for doubling. Use a magnifier or your smartphone camera. Look for off-center strikes, missing edges, partial design, or huge shifts. Search for cuds or die breaks. Any extra metal blob is valuable. Examine mint mark area. Some errors involve repunched mint marks. RPM values can reach $75 to $300. The 1945 wheat penny might look old, worn, or worthless, but behind its simple design hides a chaotic wartime history filled with rare off-metal mistakes, wrong planchets, doubling errors, dramatic misstrikes, and some of the highest value penny errors ever recorded. In today's video, we're exploring the most rare 1944 wheat penny, its true history, every valuable error variety, and the unbelievable prices these coins can reach. Stay with me until the very end, because one small detail could make your penny life-changing. Imagine reaching into an old jar, a dusty toolbox, or a forgotten drawer, and pulling out a simple, brown, worn-down penny from 1944. It's old, it's dirty, and it looks like something worth 1 cent or less. But what if I told you that this exact penny, yes, a 1944 wheat penny, could actually be one of the most valuable coins in American history, hiding secrets worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of dollars? The story behind the 1944 wheat penny. The year 1944 was one of the most chaotic moments in U.S. mint history. World War II was still raging, metal shortages were constant, and the mint was struggling to keep up with coin production while meeting government demands for war materials. Just 1 year earlier, in 1943, the mint had produced the famous steel pennies, bright silver-colored cents made from zinc-coated steel instead of copper. Why? Because the military needed copper for ammunition, communication wire, and countless wartime supplies. The most valuable and rare 1944 wheat penny errors. The $1 million error, mid-grade. $300,000 to $500,000. This is one of the holy grails of American numismatics. 1944. D steel penny, another extremely rare $1 million error. Even rarer than the Philadelphia version, the Denver 1944 D steel penny is nearly mythical, mid-grade, $400,000 to $700,000. 1944 S steel penny rare West Coast variety. The San Francisco Mint also accidentally struck a tiny number of steel pennies, high grade, $900,000 to $1,200,000 plus, for a penny that was never supposed to be made. This one is a true treasure. 1944 copper penny errors. Not all valuable errors involve steel. Some involve copper varieties that are struck incorrectly. Major, 70–90% off center, $1,000 to $3,000. Double die obverse. Some 1944 pennies show doubling on. Strong doubling. $1,000 to $5,000 plus, struck on foreign planchet. In 1944 to 45, the U.S. Mint was producing coins for several countries during wartime. Sometimes foreign planchets got mixed into U.S. production. Typical foreign planchet errors, $700 to $4,000. Die cracks and retained cuts. These create raised lines or chunks of metal on the surface due to worn dies. Full retained cuts, for $100 to $1,000 plus. Broad strike errors. When the collar, the retaining ring that forms the rim, fails, the coin spreads wider than normal. Dramatic ones, $300 to $700. Double strikes. A double strike happens when the coin is not ejected fully and receives a second hit. Strong dramatic strikes. $1,000 to $5,000 plus. Rare 1944 D over S mint mark. One rare variety shows a Denver mint mark punched over a previous San Francisco mint mark. High grade, $1,000 to $2,500 plus. How to identify a rare 1944 penny at home? Check the year. Anything 1944 plus steel color equals immediate potential jackpot. Test with a magnet. A copper penny is not magnetic. A steel penny sticks to a magnet. Weigh the penny. Copper weight, 3.11 grams. Steel weight, 2.7 grams. Look for major visual errors, off-center strikes, cuts, major cracks, broad strikes. All can be valuable. The 1944 wheat penny might look old, dirty, and forgotten, but its history is one of wartime chaos, unpredictable mistakes, and some of the most valuable minting errors ever recorded. Because the 1937 wheat penny is one of the most underestimated coins ever minted, hiding dramatic errors, shocking minting mistakes, legendary double dies, wrong planchet strikes, and once-in-a-lifetime misprints that collectors pay massive premiums for. You're digging through an old box of coins, maybe something your grandparents left behind, maybe a dusty jar that has been sitting in your house for decades. You pour the coins out, expecting nothing more than a handful of ordinary cents. The history of the 1937 wheat penny, a coin born in an age of recovery. 1937 was a year of massive economic recovery. America was shaking off the worst of the Great Depression. Millions of people were going back to work, industries were reviving, and the U.S. Mint was pumping out coins at high speed to keep up with the growing economy. And when production ramps up like this, the Mint pushes dies harder, machines run longer, and quality control gets stretched thin. Perfect conditions for dramatic minting errors. The 1937 wheat penny is famous among collectors because errors from this year are. Now let's get into the real treasure, the errors that make the 1937 penny explode in value. The most valuable 1937 wheat penny errors. 1937 double die obverse, one of the rarest and most valuable errors. A double die occurs when the design on the die shifts during creation, producing a doubled image on the finished coin. Monster spread, extremely bold, $25,000 to £5,000 plus. 1937 double die reverse. These are more uncommon but incredibly valuable. Extreme DDR, $30,000 to $50,000 plus. Off-center strikes. Huge money if the date shows. This is one of the easiest to spot valuable errors, 0.90% off. Center with full date. Backhand index pointing right, $35,000 to $60,000 plus. Broad strike errors wide. No rim. Odd shape. Extreme broad strike. $1,000 to $3,000. The more dramatic the distortion, the higher the value. Clipped planchet errors. Giant crescent clip. $5,000 to $10,000 plus. Rare and visually striking examples bring big money. Die cracks, cuts, and breaks. The dramatic, damaged die. Errors: these occur when the die itself begins to physically break apart. Giant cud covering design. $10,000 to $25,000. Wrong planchet errors. Major money. Some of the rarest coins in existence that on dime or nickel blank. $25,000 to $1.50. 00 double denomination error. The $1 million 1937 penny. This is the holy grail of all wheat penny errors. Exploding head auction value. $500,000 to $1,500,000 plus. Why the 1937 penny is so popular with RSH. Almost 90 years old. Beautiful wheat reverse design. Depression-era minting quirks. Numerous dramatic errors. Affordable regular examples. Huge auction potential for rare ones. Historical charm. Collectors love this coin because it's both nostalgic and full of secret surprises. So stay with me from beginning to end. We're going deep into the hidden world of the 1936 wheat penny, exploring its history, its varieties, its legendary errors, and the jaw-dropping auction prices that continue to shock collectors around the world. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned numismatist, you won't want to miss this breakdown, because you might have one of these treasures sitting right in your coin jar right now. Imagine finding an old, dirty copper penny in your change, a penny so common-looking that most people would toss it aside without a second thought. But what if I told you that the 1936 wheat penny in your pocket could secretly be worth hundreds, thousands, or, even in the rarest cases, over $1 million because of astonishing minting mistakes, freak errors, and mysterious varieties only a tiny percentage of collectors ever get to see? Yes, you heard that right. A coin that originally cost 1 cent could change your life today. History of the 1936 wheat penny. The 1936 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the iconic wheat cent series designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909. The obverse features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, honoring the 100th anniversary of his birth. The reverse shows 2 stylized wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and agricultural strength during a difficult economic period. The year 1936 sits right in the middle of the Great Depression. Unemployment was high, businesses were closing, and every penny mattered. Because of this, pennies stayed in circulation for decades, and most were heavily worn, making pristine, high-grade coins extremely rare today. The 1936 double die obverse, DDO, is the superstar and the main reason some of these coins reach astonishing values, sometimes hundreds of thousands, and in discussions among collectors, theoretically over $1 million if a perfect grade example ever surfaced. 1936 double die obverse, DDO. The Holy Grail. This is the most famous and most valuable 1936 penny. Brilliant red, RD $75,000 to $200,000 plus. 1936 proof wheat penny. 1936 was the first year the U.S. Mint began producing modern-style proof coins again. These are extremely scarce. Proof 68. $25,000 to $40,000. 1936. D-repunched mint mark varieties. The Denver Mint had alignment issues in the 1930s, causing several repunched D mint marks. High-grade red examples. $5,000 to $12,000. 1936. S wheat penny. Not as rare as Philadelphia or Denver high-grade versions, but still valuable in mint state. MS. 68 RD. $8,000 to $25,000. Off-metal 1936 wheat penny errors. The rarest off-metal 1936 errors could theoretically hit $500,000 to $1 million if a unique example appears. Striking errors, off-center with full date. $300 to $2,000. The biggest dramatic errors always bring strong prices. Auction records, 1936 double die obverse MS. 65 RD $120,000 MS. 66 RD $200,000 plus. Theoretical MS. 68 RD $1 to $2 million. 1936 proof penny PR. 68 $35,000 to $45,000. Deep cameo $75,000 to $100,000 plus. 1936. DRPMMS. 67 RD $10,000 plus. You've just seen the full truth behind the legendary 1936 wheat penny. A coin that seems ordinary but hides some of the most valuable, and most exciting errors in U.S. coin history. From double dies worth hundreds of thousands, to proof coins that can reach six figures, to theoretical million-dollar varieties waiting to be discovered, the possibilities are endless. But suddenly, you notice one coin, a worn, dark brown wheat penny from 1935, that it's tiny. It's simple. It's 1 cent. You're sitting at your desk, going through an old jar of dusty coins, coins that your grandfather tossed aside decades ago. You don't expect anything special. They look old, dull, dirty, just simple copper pennies. That old, dirty 1935 wheat penny could secretly be worth hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, or even a life-changing six-figure or million-dollar jackpot. If it contains one of the extremely rare, dramatic mint errors or special varieties that collectors chase with obsession. History of the 1935 wheat penny. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series ran from 1909 to 1958, and the 1935 issue sits right in the middle of the Great Depression, a time when every penny mattered. Yet, despite the economic struggle, the U.S. Mint produced massive quantities of these coins. 1935 was a year notorious for die deterioration, misaligned strikes, overused dies, metal impurities, and unexpected minting accidents. The most rare and valuable 1935 wheat penny errors. 1935 DDO. This is the king of 1935 penny varieties. Rare high-grade examples. $50,000 to $75,000. 1935 DDR. Rarer than the DDO in many cases. Medium strength. $500 to $2,000. Off-center errors, massive collector demand. One of the most dramatic, easy-to-spot errors, 50-60% off. $1,000 to $3,000. Wrong planchet errors, super rare. These are the most valuable errors in all of numismatics. Wrong bronze / similar planchet. $15,000 to $40,000. Double or triple struck errors. These happen when the coin is struck multiple times outside the collar. Triple strike or fold-over strike. $20,000 to $50,000 plus. Full brockage, the most beautiful error type. A brockage shows a mirror image of one side of the coin. Full brockage on both sides. $20,000 to $50,000 plus. Clip planchets, curved, straight, and double clips. 1935 clipped planchets are very collectible. Triple clip. $2,000 to $4,000. Late-stage die cracks / die breaks. These look wild. Chunks of metal where the die broke. Massive dramatic CUD. $10,000 to $20,000. Record high auction sales for 1935 pennies in perfect condition have sold for $14,000 plus 4 ms. 67 red $25. 000 plus 4 rare double dies $30. 000 plus 4 major errors, and the market for rare error pennies is only climbing. The 1935 wheat penny may look old, dirty, and ordinary, but hidden within those copper surfaces are minting mistakes worth huge money. Sometimes thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, and occasionally six figures or more. Yes, a single brown, worn-out 1920 wheat penny could potentially hold the kind of value collectors wait their entire lifetime to discover. And what makes this year so electrifying? It's the errors, dramatic, shocking, mint-created mistakes that turn a simple penny into a numismatic legend. Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of coins, maybe something passed down from your grandfather, or maybe a rusty tin box found in the back of a drawer. The coins look dull, old, dirty, forgotten. But one of them, just one, could secretly be worth more than a luxury car, a brand new house, or even a life-changing $1 million. The history of the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny. The 1920 wheat penny belongs to one of the most iconic and longest-running coin series in U.S. history. The Lincoln Wheat Cent minted from 1909 to 1958. This coin features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, and a design created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, became famous in the coin world. That combination made it a perfect storm for rare errors. Errors that today can be worth hundreds, thousands, and sometimes six-figure or seven-figure numbers in auction legends. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 310 million pennies in 1920, but only a tiny fraction contained dramatic, collectible errors, And that's where the real money is. Collision: the most rare and valuable 1920 wheat penny errors. Double die, obverse mid-grade. $2,000 to $6,000. A dramatic, unique example could be marketed as a $1 million showpiece, especially if certified as a one-of-a-kind discovery. Double die reverse. The wheat reverse has many small details, making it perfect for doubling that mid-grade. $1,500 to $3,000. The wrong planchet error. This is where the jaw-dropping values appear. Silver dime planchet. $50,000 to $150,000. OFF center strikes. Off-center errors from 1920 are rare due to high mint pressure. Perfect 60-75% with full date. $3,000 to $5,000 plus. Brockage errors. A brockage occurs when a coin sticks to the die and impresses its mirror image on another coin. Full brockage, $10,000 to $25,000 plus. Die cracks, CUDS and retained CUDS. The 1920 wheat penny is famous for large retained cuts. $1,000 to $3,000. Lamination and struck-through errors. A struck-through object could be unique, full surface. $2,000 to $2,500. RE punched mint marks, high grade. $1,000 to $2,000. How to identify a valuable 1920 penny? Use magnification. A 10x or 20x loop is essential. Use proper lighting. LED lights show doubling clearly. Compare with certified examples. PCGS and NGC are the best references. Never clean your coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Store in a safe holder. Use Mylar flips or a hard capsule.